here from what we've heard already. Ireland is on the front page of major international newspapers again today for all the wrong reasons. Ireland is on the airwaves of our nearest neighbour again today for all the wrong reasons. And let's be clear, it is not because of the bond markets or the EU or the international media have lost faith in Ireland. They have not. They have not lost faith in the Irish people. They have not lost faith in Irish resilience or ingenuity or energy or in our education. They have lost faith in a government. They've lost faith in a government that boasted about a bank bailout that they said would be the cheapest of its kind. It has turned out to cost more than 50 billion euro, 50,000 million euro. More money than this country drew from the Social and Cohesion Fund since we joined the European Union. And to be absolutely clear for members of the Cabinet, this is not a crisis of liquidity for our banks. This is about their solvency. Liquidity was the argument used on the bank guarantee night to shoehorn Anglo into the guarantee, even though it was known by some, that Anglo was trying to hawk itself to potential buyers in the week of the guarantee. That deception fooled people then. It won't wash today. They've lost faith, Taoiseach, in a government that 2 years ago brought in an emergency budget that they said would stabilise the nation's finances. We are still waiting for that to happen. The world is now waiting for that to happen. They've lost faith in a government which said it must cut €3 billion this year. And just 2 months later, more than doubles that figure. They've lost faith in a government that has stood idly by as one of the world's greatest property bubbles swelled and burst, and that consistently turned a deaf ear to the calls from this side of the House and from other quarters to reform the public service and put the citizens, the people, at the core of what government actually does. And lastly, they've lost faith in a government that does what all discredited regimes do in their dying days: use the courts to try to prevent the people from exercising their right to vote. The international markets and the international community have not lost faith in Ireland. They have lost faith in you and this government. In particular, they have lost faith in your policy on Anglo. Anglo was a complete disaster, but it is not clear that this government has learned the lessons. If media reports are to be believed, it now seems intent on persisting with further bailouts of other institutions, this time with money borrowed from the EU and other European countries. For 2 years, you have talked about your bravery and your courage in taking tough decisions, and you've taken some. One of those supposedly tough decisions is that the taxpayer must bail out private investors in the banks to protect the state's credibility. This has proved to be a catastrophic error of judgment. But of course, it's not the decisions that are tough or that require courage. It's the consequences of those decisions for every family in the country. Every family in this country now knows, or is beginning to know, a new poverty. Every family in this country now knows the new fear. And what they need is competence in their government, courage, clarity, and consistency. This party offers all four. We're the only party with clear plans to rescue Ireland from the tsunami of misery that this government and your party has visited upon the nation. We would not, and have not, and will not try to sweeten the bitter pill that Fianna Fáil and the Greens have forced the country to swallow. That bitter pill is the potential loss of a key aspect of our cherished freedom. This government will be remembered for generations to come if that applies. This party has set out how it will make cuts effect savings, demand efficiencies, and be able to pay back the mountain of debt left to the people. This House, this country, and those who watch and listen around the world need to understand that this economy can be repaired and that Ireland again will be a beacon of enterprise and initiative. The one tough decision that has not been faced up to by this government, that you haven't the courage to make, is to ask the people to provide the mandate to do what must be done. Make that decision and everything can change for the better. Do you have the courage, Taoiseach, to put the nation first? Or will we continue to be dragged through the mire of uncertainty, of fear and of confusion the government has created and seems determined to sustain even when the solution is clear and present? It is that mire of uncertainty and concern and anxiety that the independent commentator described today as being the downfall of the country. A downfall that all of you know, sees the sons and daughters of proud Irish mothers and fathers reared once again for export. It may well be that in a new sense their remittances from Dubai or Sydney or Toronto will replicate, unfortunately, what had to happen in the past. It's a downfall that sees young and old in ever-lengthening dole queues as we break economic records and make international headlines for all the wrong reasons when things could be so much different. And it is a downfall that has seen the hope and the ambition of a generation of Irish people crushed by the political and economic madness of a golden circle that your party was at the heart of. Before the full impact of this unfolds, Taoiseach, you have an opportunity to do something in the national interest. I hear people talking about the budget. You have a majority to put the budget through, if that's what you want to do. But that will not end the uncertainty that will apply in the new year, with the Supreme Court potentially making its decision in respect of Donegal Southwest, the further 3 by-elections pending, with the finance bill to give legal impact to the budget, and the bond auction markets still having gross uncertainty about the political stability of this country. Now, what you can do in the national interest is to let the people have their say, because it is necessary now that those hundreds of thousands of people out there who are concerned about our country, who are concerned about their futures, and their families, and their businesses, and their careers, they should have the opportunity to have their say and to give a mandate for what has to be done for the future. Let the people have their say, Taoiseach, in order to shape the future destiny of our nation. Let the people decide who will run the country. This is their decision. This should be their decision, because this government have lost the authority to do so. The bank investors and the bondholders. What's needed now is a new government that has a mandate, a strong mandate from the people. You may not like what they have to say, but they are entitled to be heard. The choice is very clear, Taoiseach. Give the people their opportunity and let them have their say, and a new future and a new direction for our country will bring about a change of confidence, a new stability and a new future.
Deputy Eamon Gilmore.